I would like to have some of those for Midas mode, but
Yeah,
how
totally.
quickly do they ship? Because I leave on Sunday, so can I get like
I'm
expedited
you
shipping?
probably can for like an additional like $20 or something like that. I'm not
Oh
totally sure what it
Christ,
is,
Jesus Christ.
but we can figure it out. All right, stream
Okay.
should be live. Let's
Yeah,
go.
sweet, sweet.
Let's go check.
Do you like my Sand King thumbnail?
I feel like you've used that exact thumbnail many times before. We're like pretty close.
Oh, just putting like that.
The like shrugging Sand King.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I definitely.
it's your favorite.
Yeah, I'm a fan of that one. You are live, Jenkins. You animals. What's up, Sean?
I feel like Sean
uh,
is literally at all of our streams.
Sean's a god, man.
What's
He's a
his is
complete.
what's his Discord name? Does he have a Discord name? Is he?
I think so. I always Sean. What's your Discord name? I always new calibrating. Wait, new update. There's a new update.
No, you didn't hear. It's not a real update. It's just like the new season starts on Thursday,
Oh, I
and
see. I
and
see.
here's what we're doing to destroy smurfing and stuff like that.
Oh shit! I didn't see this 6 hours ago. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna make a video about it, and then I just got distracted by this
We
shirt
could do
stuff.
it.
Yeah,
We
we
could do
can
it.
after this maybe.
Ban waves, Smurfs. Oh, fuck yeah. All right. Well,
Demonetized.
whatever. You monetize alchemy answers, so whatever, man. You know what? You should get more YouTube money from having people watch a video for like 2 hours. I feel like on YouTube, if you have 3,000 people watch a video for 2 hours, it's like the same thing as 3,000 people watching a video for 10 minutes, because anybody who's going to watch like a 2 hour long video probably has ad block, right? There's no fucking way that you can put like 100 ads in a video. It's just the ad right at the start that. God, I've never seen. I should click to see if Alchemy Answers makes more ad money. Not that ad money
I
even
don't
is.
I don't think so because I think we forget to monetize it half the time.
Anybody that's thinking of making a YouTube channel, YouTube ad money is dog shit. It
It's
is.
terrible.
It
We
is extremely awful.
we stopped putting out videos for like a week and a half and have lost half of our monthly revenue.
Half of our ad revenue, which
half our ad revenue. Yeah.
which makes sense because
Yeah.
it's just half the videos. So,
That's just funny though.
but it's just crazy because back in the day, I'm pretty sure you would get. I mean, not like a crazy amount of money, but for 20,000 views, you could get like probably like $100 or something,
But
maybe
yeah, both you and I would be able to
maybe
comfortably
more.
live off of YouTube like 4 years ago.
Yeah. Thank God for Patreon.
Yeah,
Thank God for our
seriously.
patrons, honestly, because
Seriously.
that makes this sustainable. Jenkins, what's your Instagram? I actually don't have an Instagram. I probably should make an Instagram account.
You can just go
You
to
have
the Dota Alchemy Instagram. It's just at
right.
Dota Alchemy. That's sort of. I don't really want to like give out my personal Instagram that just has pictures of like me and my dogs and girlfriend. It's not really like the life that I'm trying to share, you know. But I'll do esports events and stuff on the Dota Alchemy one probably.
All right.
By the way,
You wanna?
Are you doing this Montreal LAN with me and Breaky,
The
or you
thing
want to play
is,
in it?
I just got invited to a team, and I'm playing with a roster with a couple of Canadians. So I don't know if they want me to say who they are, or if it's even a team. Or I'm probably gonna get kicked in a week, realistically, because they're gonna see how shitty I am.
You should
And then
just type it in chat to me, and then I can know,
oh, okay.
not spill it.
You can probably guess who I'm playing with based on what I did. Well, here, I'll just put it here.
Okay, cool.
And then a Russian guy, which doesn't matter for WSG. But I was thinking I might play in that. So I guess I should probably email them back and be like, "Yo, I'm
probably playing."
Yeah. The funny thing is, you probably get paid way more money for casting it than playing. But
I mean, unless you win and go to the LAN. Then
yeah, true, which is possible. I mean, I think that stack didn't they win before? Wasn't it them that won? They did, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, they went to China.
right. Everybody thought that they probably like we thought that the other stack was slightly better, but then they had that like rush to the Dream League minor, and so they like rushed
Oh,
to
I
those
see. I
games.
see.
But
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
a pretty close finals if I remember correctly.
Yeah. But playing is just fun. It's just so fun. I would love to go to another event as a player. That shit is hype.
Yeah, man. I've really been enjoying playing Dota lately. As much as I was telling you how much it's been stressing me out, I, I've definitely been enjoying playing at the very least, and I want to play more. I recently just like hopefully have this other job
What's
now.
your how many wins are you from Immortal now? Because I remember you
Uh,
said you're like 7 or 8.
I'm probably like 12. 12,
Oh no, I mean that's not bad. That's
12,
not bad.
12 or 13 at this point. I don't have percentage anymore towards Divine 6 anymore.
You
It's
know,
I'm
technically speaking, if you want to make things real easy, I could. Oh no, shit! The Smurfing thing. I just remembered I haven't read the changes, so I don't know if I can advocate. I don't know if I can advocate Smurfing.
no. They're also combining support and core MMR, or not combining it, but they're having like if you win a game in core, your support MMR will also increase by a little bit, by like a percentage.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, we'll go over we'll make a video just talking
Okay,
about it
okay.
after this.
Yeah, we
But
should really do that in a different video.
yeah.
Okay.
By the way, I after that update came out, I just kind of had a thought because they talked a lot about how position 5 is like the most underplayed role and it's causing a lot of problems in matchmaking. And so I made a thread on Reddit and I was just like, position 5 should not be the most underplayed position. It's actually incredibly fun to play position 5, and everybody's stuck in this mentality of like back when it was 4 protect 1 and you like couldn't
Yeah,
do anything.
people don't play it right. People
Yeah.
that's like one of the more common things with when it comes to the coaching sessions that I do with a lot of position 5s is that they seem to a lot of people seem to think that they're like destined to be useless as position 5,
Yeah.
which is not how it is anymore. You're actually incredibly useful and
Yeah.
very annoying for the enemy team if you're playing position 5 correctly. It's just that people assume that they're going to essentially support the lane and then accomplish absolutely nothing, but that's not how it is anymore. In
Yeah.
fact, a lot of position 5s can get a lot of support or not support gold. They can get a lot of they can kind of like get huge in a game, and it's fine. I mean, as long as you're buying sentries and wards and placing them. If you're like a Jakiro or a Shadow Shaman or even a Bane, like these heroes, if you play them well enough, you can have a huge impact and get a lot of farm.
Yeah, I basically just been doing an AMA in this thread. It's like front page of the Dota 2 subreddit now. People are just asking me questions about how to play position 5.
It's on the front page.
Yeah.
Did you put Dota Alchemy Elevated in there? Does it say your name?
No, it's just from the official Dota Alchemy Reddit account.
Oh, I see. I see. Cool. Good.
Yeah.
Good shit.
There's like 3 or 4 people that are like, this is just wrong, and only carries can climb MR, and look at all the pro players who play carry in their pubs.
I'm upvoting that. That's good, man.
I'm just like, I mean, you're just wrong. Like, you're just wrong. You're living in the past. But most people are asking good questions. I'm just giving them some insight on how to play 5.
This big 3-2-2 guy makes a really good point. This is how I see position 5. Playing position 5 is incredibly fun because your entire job is to utterly troll the enemy team.
Oh, that's what I said. That's what I said in the OP.
Oh, you said that.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, good. Good shit. Yeah, no, that's good. Oh, he put the spoiler there. That's weird.
Yeah.
He was trying to quote.
Meant to quote instead.
I play position 5 most of the time anyway, but this statement alone has actually made me look forward to queuing for my next game. Yeah, that's good shit, Donnie. I completely agree with you. I think if you're a good position 5, you're a fucking annoying ass maniac just running around, sentry warding camps and breaking smokes and doing this annoying shit that's like, oh, we can't get into the enemy jungle because there's always a Bane standing there.
Yeah, dude, that's the best part. That's why I love playing support, is because your entire job is just a meme. You just meme around the map the entire time.
Yeah,
you
it's
just
really fun.
You just fucking feed. You fucking meme all over the place. You like
have
come
you ever
in.
played
so
Tiny
good.
4? Tiny 4 is so much fun. You're just like one-hitting supports in team fights and walking around tossing people in the towers and shit. It's awesome. I love it, dude. I love sort of play styles like that. Position 5 Nature's Prophet, that is the biggest meme. That is the biggest meme.
It's so fun.
Yes, it's amazing.
I've been having a lot of fun playing Shadow Shaman recently, and I'm just so active. I'm like, hey, guess what? 3 minutes in, ganking the mid laner. Hey, guess what? 5 minutes in, ganking the mid laner. Oh, now I'm in your safe lane, dropping wards on your tower. Oh, now I'm in the other safe lane, dropping wards on that tower.
And then when they commit 5 people to dealing with your sorry ass, it's like, well, I'm in position 5, so.
Yep, exactly. It's so fun, dude. It's so fun.
I'm trying to find where the questions that we left off are at. So the 9th, that was the 10th was our last alchemy answers. So
how's our volume levels, by the way, boys?
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Should
69.
be good because I haven't really changed anything, I don't think. But just let me know if it's not good.
You're not good, Donnie.
I know. I'm mediocre at everything.
You're trash. Sounds good. Cool.
Sweet.
All right. You want to get started?
Yeah.
Boy.
Let's do it.
We have a very hostile question first from Injective. Just incredibly hostile. So much hostility.
Okay. You want to read it?
Oh, do I want to read it? I thought we're roll the intro, right?
Oh, apologies. Oh, well, how's my hair? Is my hair good? Okay, cool.
It's good, yeah. Balding, but it's good.
Welcome to Alchemy Answers episode 47. We're closing in on 50 there. And thank you, as always, to our patrons for the questions. If you... wow, this is a very awkward intro. I usually do this much better. But let's just get into the questions, and we'll talk about that stuff later.
Okay. All right. Dark Phoenix is the second person to ask a question, so we'll cover that later. Injective says, why do you guys think Underlord has a high win rate right now on Dota buff, even though you guys say that he's bad? And there's some profanities in there that Injective had. He edited it out at this point, but there's a lot of profanity in this question.
I think he even called you fat, which is like just unnecessary.
I think he said that it looks like Jenkins is wearing a fat suit, which, I mean, I'm personally inclined to say objectively, yes, it does, but also go fuck yourself, Injective. That's also objective, Injective. So why do I think Underlord has a high win rate on Dota buff? I think Underlord is at the best like a C tier or B minus tier hero. I think he's personally really good against illusion carries. If illusion carries come back, like Naga Siren and Terrorblade, and those are kind of the cancerous carries that people are picking, I do believe Underlord could possibly enter into like A or S tier. But for now, I think Underlord has a high win rate because he's one of those like pub heroes that people find hard to deal with. People stand in his spells. People try to kill him, try to trade with him, and that sort of stuff doesn't work with Underlord. I think it's a similar reason why like Ursa a lot of the time has a really high win rate too, despite not being a good hero. It's because people make these decisions that work with other heroes in pubs, but when it comes to a hero like Ursa, who like you can't trade with, then it's like a bad decision. I think Underlord is relatively the same. But with that being said, I don't think Underlord is trash tier. Like I said, I believe that he has a niche. It's just he's not Night Stalker. He's not Sand King.
Yeah, I think that basically he falls into that category of hero that's kind of like Wraith King, where you almost don't even have to play the hero. You just kind of have to like click your spells occasionally in the lane, and the hero sort of plays itself and gets better the longer the game goes. Like, he's most popular and has the highest win rate in, Herald, Guardian, Crusader, Archon, Legend. It decreases exponentially, or I don't know. It decreases in every bracket that you go up, because he's a hero that is incredibly easy to punish in the laning stage, especially early on. And nobody does that in these brackets. So you basically give Underlord a free 3 or 4 levels, and then he becomes an unstoppable force in the lane, because Atrophy Aura and Firestorm is literally the best laning combo that exists for a hero to have once you get past the point of being like a slow moving chunk of meat that anybody can kill. And so like the fact that he's not punished in these lower MMRs, he gets to this early power spike where he just can outlane anybody because he has like plus 50 damage, and then he just kind of runs at you, and he's like super easy to play in terms of hard to kill. He's got catch. He pushes towers well. And the longer the game goes, the more bonus damage that he has. And eventually he just like plus 500 damage by the end of your like hour and 20-minute Herald game. And he just like one-shots your throne.
I'm back, by the way. I need to turn off the Blizzard BattleNet when we're doing these. It keeps downloading World of Warcraft Classic patches and disconnecting me.
You playing some WoW? Wasting
Not
your
really.
time?
I'm like level 15 or something. It takes way too long to get levels. That like I go on, I'll play for like an hour and a half, and I get like half a level. It's like, man, fuck this. This is boring. It's good to relax though. It's good to relax. It's just waste your time, do nothing. Sometimes,
dude, I've got to get you into playing Mordhau with me. That game is so fun. It's like the best stress relief. You just go in.
That doesn't sound relaxing though. That sounds intense.
You just go in, club somebody's
knights.
You just club somebody's face, and you like. Mordhau is one of those great games where like they put in a bunch of stuff, and people have just turned the entire game into a meme, despite it being very like skill based. They have like these different voice. You can have. I know this is completely unrelated to Dota, and probably nobody cares, but they have like when you're creating character, you can select which voice you want. And there's like barbarian, knight, like noble, all sorts of stuff. And there's one called foppish, and everybody does the foppish voice, and it's just like. It's like the town drunk voice. It's like and you can change the pitch. So everybody goes like foppish, super high pitched, and then you just run around with like fucking underwear and like a stick and some fire pots, and you just fucking like run up yelling, "Have at them, boys!" and just throw fire pots at people, and then you just like run away, and everybody who's taking the game seriously is just like, "Fuck you!" Run up and hit people with a pan. It's like such a meme. It's great.
You know what? You put anything on the internet and it's gonna become a meme, whether you like it or not. You just gotta pivot. You just gotta pivot into the memes.
Exactly.
That's all the internet is about these days. All right, back to Dota. Dark Phoenix 1515 or 1515 or 1515 said, "What do you guys think about half pulls? You pull the small camp 1 to 2 seconds later and only aggro 1 to 2 creeps in the wave. Usually one ranged, one melee. I personally like it because it guarantees the range creep deny probably gives me 1 to 2 neutral creeps while giving my carry 2 bodies to tank the wave, so he's not going to lose HP. Yada yada, blah blah blah. It's a long question, Dark Phoenix, for fuck's sakes. But the reason that I'm saying that is because I think I know what you're referring to, and from reading this, and I think half pulls are really good. I saw No Tail do a lot of half pulls in TI. I think the situation in which you want to do half pulls is when you are not strong enough to just stack the camp, and you want to have this like separation of your. So if you do a half pull, then like you said, it gives your carry those like 2 creeps in the wave to work with. You'd rather deny the entire wave, but what happens if the support the 4 roll is just very capable of going over and contesting that anyway, right? Like they're going to get that XP regardless. It's going to be on the 4 roll, which sometimes can be good for you, but they're going to get it regardless. So basically, the situation in which I saw No Tail doing it was when he was in a kind of like lane where he's not horribly losing. It's not a horribly hard lane to the point where you want to just do full pulls and send double waves. So he didn't want to send them double waves because if you have pull, it's going to kill the creeps and you can just keep reusing the camp. But he also didn't think that they were strong enough to be able to double stack and then pull. So it's like a halfway. It's funny they're called half pulls because it's halfway between getting screwed in the lane and just doing single pulls and doing the stack pulls, where you're having a really good lane and you just want to completely deny creep waves. It's the halfway point between both of those, in my opinion. At least as it stands right now, that's when I've seen people do it. But I think people are probably going to start experimenting with it a little bit, and we'll see other situations where it gets utilized. I think it's not utilized enough in Pro Dota.
Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about how to optimize the first like 4 minutes of the game, because I think that as a 5, that's probably the most important minutes of the entire game to some extent. And I think actually half pulling the very first time that you can pull is probably the optimal play now that I think about it, because it gives
half pull, then double stack.
Yeah, exactly. Because
the stack pull.
Because you can't stack initially, right? And so
right.
But then you get the automatic range creep deny, and then all of a sudden, and you still have a camp there that you can then stack. Like maybe you get one or two of the creeps, but you should be hard denying your creeps when they're taking damage from the camp to make sure that they die quickly, and then you stack that camp, and then you can just start chain pulling and killing wave after wave after wave. I think that's probably the optimal play.
I think so too. I was doing coaching with Hawk Alienator, and we were talking about the optimal way of playing the safe lane, and he had this idea of just like constantly doing like only range creep pulls, and then I was arguing that like you wanted to stack and deny entire waves in like certain situations. So we just spent like 15 minutes or something. The coaching session's on Patreon, actually, funny enough, but we spent like 15 minutes basically like deducing like what the optimal way of playing the safe lane is, and that's what we came up with too, where it's like, okay, well, when you can't stack and pull, then you would want to kill creeps if you can because you're denying XP, but you don't want to kill the camp because you want it to be stacked for the future denies.
Yeah.
Right? So half pulling at the start, I think regardless of what you want to do in the lane, other than in a situation where you know that you want to single pull the entire game. So if you've like Terrorblade Disruptor versus like Earth Spirit Darkseer or some shit like that where you're supposed to lose the lane, then yeah, you want to just send double waves.
Bristle Coddle or something like that.
Some stupid shit. Yeah. But in most situations, you want to half pull before the minute mark, or before the 2 minute mark. It's interesting. I'll be interested to see how pros abuse that in the future. Okay, let's see. Opinions on Drow Eggs. Bought it after 3 Wraiths, Treads, and a Dragonlance, and it felt really strong. Ridiculous stats, ridiculous farm speed, and it meant I could kill 3 to 4 heroes in Chrono at the same time. And with Chronosphere, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah. I'm a huge fan of Drow Eggs. I've been a proponent of it for a while. Like back when I was playing a lot of Drow, I would try to get it in every game if possible. I wouldn't rush the Eggs necessarily. I think Drow is one of those heroes where you have like basically, I don't know, maybe 2-3 build paths that you need to go down. They all, of course, start with like 3 Wraiths and Treads. But from there, then you either go the realm of like kind of just continuing to accelerate your farm and like becoming this sort of like turret in the backlines where you go like Dragonlance, Manta, that kind of stuff, BKB, Daedalus. I think somewhere along there you could probably fit in the Ags as sort of like a pseudo Midas or like ranged Battle Fury to some extent.
Ramses would go Ags almost every game.
Yeah, it's really good. It's a really good item on that hero. But then sometimes you do want to play Drow as like this really fast ganking hero that just like shows up, 3 shots people, takes the tower, and moves on to the next lane. And that's when you go like Blink or Shadowblade, something like that instead. Or if they have something that jumps you every single fight, then you don't really have the luxury to go Ags unless you're literally just not playing with your team for like 25 minutes. In which case,
it's really good against like illusion heroes too.
Oh, super good. Yeah, if you go Ags and Mjolnir, then you just become like Tesla Cannon, and it's super fun.
Yeah, it's nuts. You're like Medusa. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's good. Not every game though. Eddie Mercury, this guy is a fucking Dota fiend, and he's becoming a Dota savant. What happens if, hypothetically, which he put in italics, I'm off doing something in the enemy safe lane for the first minute of the game, blocking creeps, blocking camps, hunting for first blood, blocking carry / support from the lane. That's all good shit. And my carry gets zoned, and all of the creeps from the first 2 waves are denied. I've heard conflicting opinions on how long you're allowed to stay in the offlane before TPing back. I'm not sure where the limit is and how it changes depending on the game. Well, let me tell you, if your carry is getting all of the first 2 waves denied in front of their tower,
nothing you could do will help.
I think that they need to go Google and go to GameLeap.com and figure out how to use aggro mechanics, because they should be aggroing creeps into the tower where they shouldn't be able to get denied.
Yes.
Like they should be right-clicking the enemy and dragging the creeps into the tower, which, yes, that is indeed going to shove the lane out, but it means they're not going to get anything denied. And then after that, when the lane is shoved out, well, that's your signal as a support to enter back into the lane, where you need to be the one that's there pulling.
You want to hear something insane?
Until that happens, you don't. Sure, what's up?
I know you don't watch a whole lot of Dota media or anything like that, but
I don't.
No Tail was just on Sunsfan and Syndren's podcast today, and he said that You know how there was a meme about how Ana was trash in the lane and like couldn't lane and would just come back later on in the game?
Yeah, yeah.
Apparently,
During the first TI that they won.
apparently going into the Boston Major. Is that the first one they won with him? I think it was.
I don't remember.
Going to the Boston Major, he did not know that you could aggro pull creeps. This guy was 9k MMR and did not know that you could aggro pull creeps. No tails like he'd be laning and then he'd be dominating and then all of a sudden he'd be losing the lane because somebody would just start aggro pulling and he'd be like, "What the fuck? Why am I losing?"
I remember. So Ryuborus, who's at the time that he said this, I was playing with him, and he was 8 to 9k MMR. He was like rank 4 in North America, which a lot of people didn't understand. That guy's confusing, man, because he would say and do some really stupid shit, but then he's just rank 4 because whatever fundamentals of Dota that he knew so well, right, or it was so good for pubs that he was winning a lot. He's such a weird character. But Ryuborus got a Ghost Scepter on Zeus, and he was nuking people, Ghost Sceptering and nuking people, and he's just like, "What the hell, man? I'm not doing more damage. It's supposed to amplify my magic damage." And I'm just like, dude, Ghost Scepter amplifies the magic damage you take, dog. Like, it doesn't work on the enemies. And he got in an argument with me about that, and like I think we had to look it up on like the Dota wiki. It was mind blowing to me because he was 9k, he was rank 4, and that's the thing with Dota is that
mechanics are irrelevant, dude.
Mechanics don't really matter that much. It's more so about understanding the strategy of the game, which is why, honestly, I know a lot of people say this, especially people who have played the game for a long time, and you're fucking guilty of this, Donnie.
Yeah.
You've said this before. And now that you're closing in on Immortal, I can say this to you because that's getting up there. I can say this to you without making you feel too bad about it because you're getting to the MMR where, actually objectively people think that you're like sick or whatever. In any case, a lot of people say, I am really good strategically at Dota, but I don't have the mechanics to get to like 6 or 7k. That is the most bullshit cop-out I have ever heard. And it just totally takes away from the 6 to 7k players that have gotten there completely from strategy and from playing the map right. And it's not understanding that that's what 99% of people who get 6 to 7k, it's because they're doing something that's beyond just mechanics really, really well. And sure, maybe it's not like playing as a team, but it's going to be farming optimally around your team or something like that, which is strategy,
Yeah.
That's not mechanics. It's like the idea of like taking farm away from the enemy team at the minute mark where you're in their jungle and then you farm a pattern away from them where you're taking farm that they will be walking into so they can't get it. Like things like that. That is not mechanics. You don't need to know mechanics to do that. That's just a concept. And I find that's a huge cop-out for a lot of people who feel bad that they played the game for a really long time but don't have high rating. And it prevents you from learning the actual strategy of the game because you just assume that you know it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You just assume that you know it. And I mean, we're all guilty of this shit, honestly.
Yeah.
Dota's all about making excuses and then overcoming them and realizing that it's an excuse.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Pretty much.
That's how you get better at the game.
It actually feels very freeing when you start changing that mentality. Like I played this game today before this session where our Juggernaut was clearly an account buyer. Like 100% was an account buyer.
Go to the profile, Meepo, 19 win streak, 93% win rate.
Right, playing safe lane, dying like 6 times in lane, just making like the most absurdly terrible decisions.
Level 1 Steam account, level 40 Dota account.
Yeah. But we should have won this game. We got mega creeps and we ended up losing the game. And I was thinking about it. I was like, damn, like that game sucked. It just felt really awkward. I was playing Position 5 Bounty Hunter because they had a million fucking Invis heroes and then they banned Zeus. And so I picked BH and we were rolling them. We got megas, obviously. Game was going well. And then our jug died without buyback. And I was just like, yeah, that jug sucked. And then I started looking at my items in the screen afterwards. And I built an Atos because we were having trouble catching people at one point, but it was literally, there was one fight where we had a lot of trouble catching people, and I just bought an Atos afterwards. And looking back at it, I was like, how many times did I actually use this Atos? Maybe once to get a kill for the rest of the game. And I looked back at how we lost the game. Didn't have enough force staffs on our team. Should have bought a force staff. Probably would have won the game if I had a force staff. So, at the end of the day, I'll take the blame for it because I bought the wrong item, and it was a pretty critical item that should have been purchased for our team.
That's the thing. Not to like tangent on this for too long, but that's actually something I've been thinking a lot recently, where I think about Dota a lot more like poker, where you could be the best poker player on the planet and you could play a game of poker with your buddies and you could get totally shit stomped if you just get like the wrong cards. However, it's like they have this like high likelihood to win the game because like if they're dealt a good hand, they're gonna like play it correctly. And that's the thing in a game like that, Donnie. You might have played 70% above your capacity. Let's say you have a 50% chance to win that, and then you put it up to 70% or something like that. Like you could still lose in the 30%, and maybe you needed to put it up to 80%. Maybe you didn't do well enough. Even though you did well, it's not good enough.
Right, exactly.
For that particular game. So that's why, like, no matter what, it's good to like look at yourself, because if you put Miracle in that same game, and he's going to win that.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Or maybe he's going to lose. Maybe he's going to lose because even putting the win rate up to 90% isn't enough, because that 10% is like where that jug puts it down to be even lower. Like, you just like amplification, like de-amplification of win rates. But right. I think about it a lot like poker, where you're dealt this hand and like you just want to give yourself the highest likelihood to win the game. And if you're doing that, you've nothing to worry about. As long as you've given yourself the highest possible likelihood, you feel like you haven't made any mistakes, you can move on to the next game and feel good about it. But if you didn't give yourself the highest possible likelihood, you need to look at what you didn't do that wasn't enough.
Right, which is why, I mean, even if the game seems like it's very easy to just kind of sum up in one word, like account buyer, like you still want to look at it, because had I not looked at this, I wouldn't have been like, oh, well, this is clearly the wrong item to have bought in this situation. Because, in theory, it was an okay item, but it was definitely not the optimal item. And there was like multiple scenarios at the very end of the game that we could have completely changed if I had a different one.
There's, do you ever have those games where you make like an item decision that's like maybe, not normal, and in 2% of games on that hero, you want to go for that item in that order, but it just feels so good and you stomp, and it just, those games.
Those are my favorite games.
Those are great games. They feel fucking good because it makes you realize that the amount of games that you're probably losing because you didn't make the correct item choice, it's probably a lot. Like I was playing a Broodmother game, and I was coaching somebody on how to play mid brood, and I was telling them like almost every game you need to go for, like Midas, Medallion, into like Aghanim Scepter, and then all of these items. And then we watched a game of mine, and I went Orchid first into straight Nullifier, straight Orchid Nullifier. And in the game, my reasoning was the only way that they were going to win the game was like they're snowballing Anti-Mage. And so I used the Nullifier. I had the Orchid timing before he had his Manta, and then I had the Nullifier timing when he got the Manta style, and I killed him like 3 times in a row, and we just like solo because of those items, and we just raxed them.
Right.
And it's like, holy shit, the amount of games I'm probably losing because I didn't go like Helm Dom on Broodmother or Pipe on Broodmother, right, or first item Solar Crest, like these strange things, but like the timings work out. It's probably a lot, and I'm just not realizing that, if you go for a general build, let's say like, I guess Lena, for example, everybody goes for like Yule's, Ether Lens, things like that. You're probably going to have pretty good games.
Yeah.
But it's that 5% that you could get out of another item build that might make games incredibly easy that you're just not doing because there's diminishing returns on thinking that much about items, where it's like you could have gone for a Solar Crest on Lena, or these weird item builds where the risk is incredibly high that you're doing something stupid, but the reward is also incredibly high. But, if you put like a perfect AI into Dota, I guarantee you they're not going Yules every game on Lena.
Yeah.
I guarantee you it's going to be a different item build in every single fucking game. And that's the scary thing about Dota, is there's so many permutations and combinations that there's very little way to play it at 100% to like play it perfectly. You're gonna make like a few wrong decisions.
Right, and you'll know when every item that you bought is the correct one in the correct order, because it feels like you are by far the best player in the game. You're just like
and the strongest hero. Like nobody can touch you.
You just have the perfect solution to everything that they have, and you're just like, am I like an oracle? Can I see the future right now? Because there's actually no way.
But then the next game,
yeah.
Then the next game, you go Atos on fucking BH and play your account buying jug.
Exactly.
Yeah. Been there, man. Been there.
Exactly.
Anyway, back to the questions. Let me find where the hell I was. I was scrolling around, getting like real excited about what we were talking about. Can you talk about good teammates for cancer mids like Meepo, Tinker, Invoker when they're on your team? How to best enable them, since they go off, then you will usually win the game. I don't consider Invoker to be like a cancer mid hero anymore. He's like Quaswex is the best Invoker mid style right now, and that's kind of like he is enabling other people with his rotation. So you don't need to worry about a Quaswex Invoker. Quasexort, the hero just kind of sucks. I would not work on enabling a Quasexort Invoker. I don't think that's honestly that worth it, and they can enable themselves. With Tinker and Meepo, ward your own jungle. Like ward the entrance to your own jungle, put a sentry there too, protect them, protect the camps, make sure that they're getting their farm until they get to their timing. With Meepo, it's like he wants to get to that third Meepo. And Etheria Blade with Tinker, it's like he wants to get to those boots of travel, and if you can just protect them to get that timing easily, then you're gonna win Dota. And the way that you do that is just ward your own jungle. Sand King is really good, like any counter pushing hero where they can just sit in a lane and stop pressure from being applied. Because then what's happening is you're like delaying the game for those heroes to get to like their particular timing. So delay heroes are fucking amazing. I love picking Sand King Alchemist was one of the most cancerous things you could pick in the last patch, because people would try to pressure an Alch and you just sit a Sand King with Sandstorm like right in front of wherever the enemy team is trying to pressure, and they couldn't take any towers, and then Alchemist would just win the game. There's also like Treant Protector where you can armor towers plus some counter push. Things like that. Just protect your towers until they get their timing, essentially.
Yeah. I think whenever I have one of those, I definitely do what Jenkins is saying here as far as like placing more defensive wards to keep your jungle safe. Also, I'll tend to leave my safe lane a little bit earlier and start sitting behind the mid to some extent, because there's a very good chance that people are going to start ganking there around nighttime or maybe even earlier sometimes. Because the other team knows that this hero is the focus. So if you're just there preemptively, it's kind of like the same thing as where you're buying the perfect item for the perfect scenario. If you're in the perfect place before the other team gets there, it's so easy to play Dota. And so you can just like, they don't bring enough heroes because they're like, oh, it's a solo Tinker, we only need 2 heroes. And then you show up, you hex their Storm Spirit who's trying to go on him. You shackle the other guy, Tinker all of a sudden turns around and gets a double kill. And now the game's basically just over because they just fed the hero that they absolutely were trying to shut down. Alternatively, you can pick one of these chaos play heroes, like I don't know, like position 5 Nature's Prophet or like a Mirana or something like that, and you just show up on the other side of the map and like create chaos. So the other team's bringing 5 heroes to like the top lane, and your Tinker is like, this is great. There's nobody in the bottom lane or the jungle at all.
Yeah, that's that's always a play. I think it's riskier, but then again, sometimes it's good to just throw some chaos in the mix, just see what happens, see what you can
cut
stir
waves
up.
At the tier 3 so that their safe lane doesn't have any creeps.
Yeah. Oh my god, classic. Okay, so the next question is we have, where was it? Injective says, what are the best position 5 supports right now? Bane, Ogre.
Shadow Demon's pretty popular.
Shadow Demon's still pretty good. Undying is a beast.
He's very overpowered. They've buffed him way too much. He's extremely overpowered right now.
Yeah, he's next level. That hero's fucking busted.
I did 11,000 damage to Meepo one game with Flesh Golem. I was like the 3rd highest damage dealer on my team, and it was literally all just from Flesh Golem, just staying alive in the middle of a fight with 2 bracers and soul ripping myself.
Actually do damage is stupid. Like, that is ridiculous.
Yeah.
He's so fucking hard to kill too.
Yes. That's your
He's
whole
impossible to kill.
that's what flipped that flip in my brain. I was like, oh, I'm not supposed to run at people, decaying them and chasing them. I'm literally supposed to stand there and just be unkillable by healing myself and like running away towards my team. And your body just does all the damage. The zombies do all the damage. All you have to do is keep yourself alive, keep your tombstone alive, and just exist. And you win team fights.
It's a gross hero, man. That's probably my number one if you want to pick a support right now. Bane and Undying.
Especially in lower level games, you will absolutely steamroll people.
Oh god, it's easy. Average Peen says, when should I use Solar Crest on my allies versus on my enemies in a team fight? Allies, if you have some Sven or Alchemist or something like that you're buffing to do more damage to get that attack speed. And then if you're like focusing one person in a pick off, then you can use like the Solar Crest on enemies. I would say you probably want to use it more on allies.
I'd say like 80-20 allies for the most
yeah.
part.
Yeah, I think so. Sieging as well is a really good time to use it on allies. You just pop it on the guy that's hitting the tower, and he's immortal and does 10,000 damage.
Yep.
It's pretty nice. Okay. Let's see. Do not reply to questions here. RFX. JCJ. He's
laying the
modding.
Smackdown.
he's laying it down. We need to give him a gavel and get him on the pub judge. What do you think the S and A tier, position 4 and position 5 heroes are in 7.22G? So we talked about position 5 already. Recently became a patron from seeing some of the replay reviews you guys did. Appreciate all the work you guys put in, and I'm happy to support the goal of improving the community and my own gameplay. Fuck yeah, man. Thank you so much. We really appreciate that. Well, I do. I don't know. Donnie probably doesn't. He's giant assholes.
So S tier 4 hero Mirana, number 1.
Oh, Mirana is without a doubt
not even
number
close.
1. Yeah, that hero is disgusting. Tiny is still good in my opinion. I think Zeus is underrated. There's
Yes.
like I see Crit playing it a good amount. I think Skywrath Mage is decent. I think Earthshaker is incredibly
Lena's pretty good.
Oh, Lena, yeah, Lena's been good for a while now. Let's see.
I think Chaos Knight 4 is extremely underrated. I think it's really good actually. I know
maybe, but even if it's underrated, it's probably like B tier max.
It's pretty nice to be able to run around with 495 movement speed with like tranquil boots and a windlace.
That doesn't sound that bad actually. Maybe I should try that. But yeah, I would say pick Mirana, pick Lena, pick Earthshaker. That's all you need. Tiny's pretty good. Although he has a 43% win rate. That's pretty low.
That is extremely low, but it's because he's also like the most picked hero in high level pubs.
Second most picked. The most picked is Mirana.
Crystal Maiden is good.
7% win rate.
Crystal Maiden's a good hero.
I think CM's overrated.
The other one that I think people should keep an eye on is Venomancer.
Clockwork. Clockwork is good now.
I think he's okay. I think he still suffers from clockwork problems, but he's definitely on the rise. My reasoning for Venomancer being on the list is that he has a 90 GPM talent primarily, and the fact that you can kind of play him as like a space eater. I've been playing him as a 5 to be honest, which sounds a little bit ridiculous, but you just buy like a couple bracers or you buy a veil and you just kind of
we've figured out why Donnie's losing.
You tank damage and then you press your No, I've actually been winning with Venomancer and losing with the regular heroes that I've been picking.
Huh. Okay. Well, then again, we did talk about Dota being poker. There's always chance involved, and sometimes you have these bullshit, dumb ideas.
Dude, I'm telling you, 90 GPM at level 10 will make you a good support hero, period.
That's true. Gale's pretty good at level 1 now, too. It used to be terrible. The other spells are pretty terrible at level 1 now, though.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. Lots of chatter in here. Core IO is inviolable in Archon pubs. Nope.
Especially since they nerfed IO. The hero's kind of off the radar right now.
Kinryoku says, hey guys, what starting items should you take as a position 4 Shadow Shaman? Donnie, this is definitely for you. My take on this is normally as followed. Tango, Salve, Windlace, Ward, and a Mango could be 2 clarities, or should I try to get the Bassi, so going for a Sobi Mask first? Tango, Sobi Mask, Salve, Ward. In my game, I was against Ursa, so I had the feeling I should get Windlace.
I don't think Windlace is ever a good starting item on like basically any other hero except for maybe like a bounty hunter who's trying to snipe courier early on or something like that. I would say you either are going to be, I mean, you have to remember that Shadow Shaman has completely stupid base damage still, and so you just really want to trade like as a 4
Boots,
go into the lane and just punch people in the face. So
I like Boots because you can position to get like 1 hit on them and then run away before they hit you once.
yep, Boots is definitely good. You could also just go like if trading is very easy, you could just stack regen.
Regen, yeah. Regen or Boots, honestly.
Yep.
Bassi doesn't sound that bad if you wanna go for like the regen side of things.
Mm-hmm.
You can get like a Bassi and
double
then,
tango Sobi Mask, something like that.
Or Tango, Salve, Sobi Mask, something
Yeah.
like that. But I do really like Boots on that hero because generally what I find is people don't trade with you because they know that you hit way harder than them.
Yeah.
So the Boots just lets you like walk into position
Sure.
to hit them. And also, in any case where you can go Boots early, it feels really good because that's an item that you're going to build soon anyway. So it like accelerates the farm that you get because you're not using money on like regen. So it does feel really good to go for that. Like on Tiny, going for like Boots into like 2 clarities or Boots Tango feels really good because the first item you get then is like a stick. And then you have stick Boots and a really early timing, and it feels really good.
Also, as a 4, your job is really to control that bottom rune area, and Shadow Shaman is one of the best heroes at rotating with like a haste rune or an invis or something
Yeah,
like
and he's
that.
really slow.
So having Boots is really nice in that regard.
Yeah, being able to like walk around, and also as a 4, a lot of the time you're like you trade for like a little bit, but you're kind of like pulling the camp back and then fucking off when your core is like under tower getting free farm. Like you don't need to be there stealing their XP, so you want to run back and stack the triangle. You want to run to the bottom rune or something like that. Like there's a lot of movement happening with 4s, even if you're playing like a standard sort of lane support way. And that's why Boots feels really good. That's why like Earthshaker support works and Tiny support works because
right.
You're really just pulling the camp and giving your offlaner a good game, and they're pressuring, and you're just like tertiary pressure.
Yep.
Prime Operator says, what are your thoughts on the new matchmaking update? We're making a video on that afterwards, so I haven't even read it yet, so I'm excited to read that. Justin Ash, Q, are disabler/stunner supports better than healer/saving kind of supports? Because we all have been through those games where you lose a game and everybody will be like, oh, we don't have a disabler support. Oh, we don't have a dazzle to keep us alive. Better. Which is better?
I think early pick in a pub draft is better to pick a stunning hero because if you end up with a draft without any initiation, it's extremely hard to play the game. So I would always tend towards picking a hero that has some form of disable if I'm picking first as a support player. The only alternatives to that are when my team is like clearly showing what they're gonna pick and like I'm sure that they're gonna pick it, in which case picking a save for like, I don't know, if you have like a Naga in lane, picking a Dazzle can be nice. If you have somebody that benefits from having an Oracle, like somebody showing Huskar mid, and there's a very low chance that that's going to get, picked before that person grabs it.
Or they first pick a Faceless Void. It's good to have a Dazzle or a Shadow Demon.
Yeah, that kind of
stuff.
See,
whenever I think about this sort of thing, is like, I like that you're going from like the pub sort of route. I think that's like correct. That if you're first picking, you probably want to just like aim towards like picking a disabler hero that's like good disabler, good lane support, and a hero that you're good at. Like, I think that's what really matters. And then if your team fucks up the draft, they fuck up the draft. Nothing you can do about that. And it's less likely that they will if you have a stunner. Yep. But having an Oracle in a particular game might be incredibly game winning if the enemy team has some like one and done hero that like a Faceless Void, or if you have, like Donnie said, like a Huskar on your team. It really, if you have a Death Prophet on your team, where you just need to save her while her ulti is going and she can like heal up and stuff like that. It depends on the draft. But with what Donnie said, like I agree with that as a position 5 in a pub, you're probably picking first. So I would just probably aim more for like a hero that you're good at, mostly a hero that you're good at that's going to have a lot of jobs that they can possibly do in the game.
Yeah,
And
I kind of covered this in my most recent video, which was just talking about how I go about drafting early on. And you can see that the 6 heroes that I have as like my first pick heroes are heroes that do a lot of things well. And so I honestly think that Winter Wyvern is like the perfect first pick hero because you have a save, you have D push, you've got team fight, you've got BKB piercing disable, you've got good laning. Like you can do basically everything on that hero.
That is literally my favorite position 5, to the point where I played as an offlaner sometimes.
Yeah, it's so good.
We actually like on a team. I'm so proud of this. I'm so fucking proud of this. On my team, I know it's just scrims, but on my team a while back when I actually had a team, we scrimmed against a roster. I guess it's not cool to leak like scrim results, even though it was a long time ago. We scrimmed against a roster that I thought was a lot better than us, and I fucking dumpstered them with Wyvern position 3, and I hadn't played it at all. But when I played it, like I felt like ice flowing through my veins, man. Like I fucking fit with that hero. Like it was like two perfectly like connecting puzzle pieces, you know? It was like it felt so good playing that hero even as a position 3. Like I just love that hero and all of the things that you can single-handedly win a team fight. Yep. You do a shitload of damage with your Q to start fights, so you can act as an initiator. You can save your team. And when I play offlane, sometimes I have the issue that I don't play enough as like a carry because for whatever reason, I'm more of like I'm more like support oriented, honestly. Like I play support and
You're a utility player for sure.
I'm a huge like utility player. I'm very infrequently going to be some like Legion commander who's 20-0 and winning the game. It's like I'm some guy that's like stunning people in fights or creating chaos or saving people. And like that hero or counter pushing and just being like an asshole. And that hero does everything that I like doing. And I fucking meshed with it, man. Yeah. So I have that hero as on my list of pickable heroes, even though I'm pretty sure I haven't seen somebody run that in the offlane for like a year now.
Yeah.
But I think it's got a place.
Yeah, I mean, there was a period of time where I was picking Winter Wyvern every single game, and like without fail, I'd end up just either de-pushing a wave that we should have lost, like de-pushing a tower that we should have lost like several minutes before.
You're just sitting there being such an asshole.
And then you just fly into the trees and they can't find you. You just you're basically immortal, and then they do go on you.
And then as you fly into the trees, as you fly into the trees, you taunt and right click them as you're flying in. Like, I know you're not going to get me, so I'm going to right click you here.
It's such a fun hero.
It is really fun, and I love the fact that if you're patient, you can just solo win team fights.
Yes.
Like if you hit a good enough winner's curse. I feel like I've always jived really well with those heroes too, where you're just waiting for like the one opportunity to hit like a good spell. Like I play a decent Enigma, I play a good Earthshaker. Like I play a lot of these heroes that fit within that, and it feels really good. Yeah, it feels really good to find a hero that I guess what I'm saying with Wyvern is that all the jobs that it does, which are the many jobs. Wyvern does a lot of jobs. Those are the jobs that I like to do in Dota. And there are a lot of heroes that do like a lot of jobs. Like if you're a big split push player, but you also like position 5 support and you like shoving waves and you like being a disabler who's trying to get good positioning in fights and find the right angle to enter into fights, Shadow Shaman's your hero. Like if those are jobs you really enjoy, then you are probably going to get 7K with Shadow Shaman because that is all that hero does.
Also, what does Winter Wyvern have at level 10? Can you remind me?
I believe an attack damage talent is what you're referring to.
Exactly, and that's the one that you should take every single game.
Right. Unless that got changed, I don't remember. No, that's a nice gold talent that hero has actually, which is great. You know what? Let me keep one more thing. I like that as a position 3 as well because then I can just sit and be with my team and just keep fighting, and I still get gold. You know, I don't like farming. I'm not a big farmer. I just like running in there and fucking people up. That's my favorite thing to do in Dota is just to fight.
Yep.
So it's great to have a gold talent where you can just keep fighting and you're going to get gold.
Also, dude, I mean, you get that talent, you are guaranteed to get an Aether Lens. And when that hero has Aether Lens, you are impossible to kill. You are actually impossible to kill. And you can Splinter Blast from like a full screen and a half away. And it's completely stupid how far away it is.
Yeah,
I'm not complaining because I love that hero.
Yeah. Sparky23, this is the final question we have from our patrons, which, by the way, shout outs to them, patreon.com/Dota Alchemy. Love you guys. Who do you think are really good safe lane carries right now? I've been seeing some success with Phantom Lancer, Ursa, and Void, but I think it's more so that I'm picking them in favored matchups instead of me following the meta. I believe that is the correct way of going about the safe lane, is picking heroes that are really good in the game.
Yes.
So you want your Slarks, your Life Stealers, your Faceless Voids, whatever. You know the game is going to be really easy for them. I think some like underrated safe laners that people are not picking enough right now are like Bloodseeker, Weaver, Clinks. I think Luna's pretty good.
Lycan, still very good hero.
Lycan is incredible. Gyrocopter is pretty good. But yeah, no, I think what you said is going to gain you a lot of MMR and make you a good player to just pick carries into favorite matchups, because that is the job that you have to do as a carry, is to just snowball and have a really good game, and you have the ability to do that because you can second to last pick. So you want to make sure that you're picking a hero that's really good against at least a few of their heroes.
Yeah. Yeah, safe
lane. Naga's a good hero too.
Safe lane's actually just like the simplest role. it's so simple.
It's really easy.
You sit back, you wait for the counter pick, you counter pick, and then you just sit in the jungle for 25 minutes. You get your items, and you show up to like 2 team fights, and the game's over. It's like basically how you play safe lane.
Yep. Sounds about right. Okay, we're done with questions from Patreon. Do you want to do a speed round?
Yeah, let's do a quick speed round. So throw your questions in chat there.
Chatters, get them in.
147 of you watching. Thank you for tuning in. Also, just so you guys know, I know not everybody has time to watch entire episodes, but we do have every single episode of this show and even some other shows on Anchor FM / Dota Alchemy. I believe that's what it is. Should probably verify that, but
I have not clicked to that.
There is a Dota Alchemy podcast where we have all of our alchemy answers and some other content as well, and you can listen to it, just audio if you need to.
Hobus Tobu says he watches every episode. We fucking appreciate that, man.
Yeah, that's absolutely.
Awesome. I really appreciate that. I find it surreal when people reference something that I said during like one of these podcasts, because it's like, holy shit, that was something I said at one point, and you remember that, because it doesn't feel real. You see numbers, you see the views, and it's disconnected. You're just looking at a computer screen. It's just pixels glowing at me. But then like I met a few people at Jungle Jam, and it's like, holy fuck, man, you know me. You're like a dude, and you know me. This is fucking cool. We're already friends. It's great. It's I don't know. It's fucking surreal, man. It's really surreal. I've not like properly like internalized it, and going to like the Jungle Jam and meeting actual Dota alchemists was like crazy. I hope Midas mode. Anybody going to Midas mode? Hit me up. Celeb Jenkins. Yeah, it feels like it when you go to these events, man.
All right, let's answer these questions real quick. James McAvoy, please tell me about Ricky offlane.
Terrible. He has to farm lane. Very killable. You need a defusal. You're useless. Like he just has no way of getting farm. That's
Ricky's just Garbo. It's a garbage hero.
I think he's okay. He's okay as a position 4.
What do you think?
What do you think about like Inceptor Rush? Good. I think it's good if they have. I was actually playing with I think it was Febby the other day, and he went rush Aghanims on Lycan, and I asked him like why he thought it was good, and he said because the supports could not deal with lane pressure at all, so he knew that they would like constantly have lane shoved in.
If they have low wave clear supports or something, that's probably really good.
It was like Lich Disruptor or some stupid shit like that.
Sure. I wonder if Lycan eggs plus having a drow in your team is really overpowered. Just the lanes are just crushing.
it kind of seems like a little overkill though.
Maybe so.
When's the last time you guys went with a Shadow Fiend on your team?
A long time ago. I love playing with Shadow Fiend. Love playing against them because I'm just like, this game is easy.
He's like Lina mid. It's so squishy. Like you get incredibly farmed and you're just so killable, which is why I think the Greaves build was really good.
Yeah.
But people are doing this like Yule's travel shit where it's like,
so
okay, what
bad, dude.
What if I just stun you and then I kill you, and then the most farmed hero on the enemy team is just like a support level of being able to kill. Like, it's so simple.
Yeah.
What important parts to remember when reading spells? That's a very strange question, actually. What important parts to remember? I don't know. The damage and the stun duration, probably, if there's stun duration. Not the lore, that's for sure. I can tell you what not to remember.
Definitely the lore. Best pre 1 minute rune bullies.
Bane,
I really like Slardar.
Sure, bashing Ursa. I guess if you're gonna go down that route, Monkey King is insane.
Gyro's always pretty good.
Thoughts on EG roster? I think Abed is an honorary American already. He played in North America for quite some time, and he fit in perfectly. His pub play style fit in perfectly with NA. He's very Sumail like in that sense, where he's just this like goes off and wins the game on his own sort of player, and just kind of crazy and super high skill. Who's the other player they got? Ramses.
Ramses is
three. I was actually expecting Ramses to just suck dick at offlane because he's played carry for so long, and a lot of the time people are like, "Oh, I can play this role," and then they go play it and they feed. But I've actually watched a few of his replays, and he's extremely good at offlane somehow. I mean, he's just a really good player, but he's a very good offlaner. So I actually have very high expectations for EG.
I think they're going to be terrible to start the season. I think they're going to have a lot of problems figuring out like how to allocate the resources and how to make rotations and stuff like that. But they have a good foundation to build on with the carry plus 2 supports still being the same. And so I think they'll figure it out and be very good later on in the season. But I think they're going to get taken advantage of early on by being too greedy and too slow.
Where is Abed from? I think he's from Philippines.
Philippines, right? Yeah, he's Filipino.
Is he like half Canadian or something, or
I don't think so. How viable is second phase pick TA and Ember Spirit? Those are very different heroes. I feel like Ember Spirit's probably fine. TA is a little bit more sketchy, but maybe okay.
I sleep with your mother. I personally have night terrors and wake up strangling like pillows and things like that, so I would definitely worry for your mother's safety. So my answer to that is no. I would not sleep next to her.
Coddle,
I would sleep in a different bed than her.
I'm just moving on. Coddle is more impactful as position 5 or a non-greedy 4. I think Coddle is inherently a greedy hero. I don't think you can play it as a non-greedy hero.
I think Coddle's position 5. Might be.
But it's kind of a greedy 5 though, because it shoves waves. Because it shoves waves.
So does Wyvern. Is Wyvern a greedy 5?
Kind of.
Not really. You just shove like the wave that nobody else wants to shove. That's not greedy.
Okay, I guess so. Yeah, I mean, in that regard, I guess
old Coddle was greedy.
That does make sense because Coddle is entirely based on spells now with Blinding Light and ult, and
yeah,
so it doesn't really matter what items you have.
But you can get farm.
Can Ramsey speak English properly? Yes. They would not have invited him onto their team if he couldn't speak English.
I would assume so. I would really assume
There's no fucking way he would play for an org as big as EG if he couldn't speak their language. He speaks English 100%.
Is Techies playable at all? Yes. Position 5 and position 4, I think.
Is Daedalus good on PL? No, he has a crit talent. He already has a crit. It's really good, actually. His crit talent is insane. He does so much damage.
It is very good.
How do you create map pressure as an offlaner if you can't take pressure? Their safe laner safety. How do you? I don't know. Okay. Where do you get that dank shirt, Donnie? It's a Pugna shirt, no longer in print. This is probably one of the only ones that exists still. So I'll sell it to you for $2,000 so I can quit my other job.
Okay.
Thoughts on CK nowadays? Support.
I think he's a good carry. Maybe a good position 4. I mean, he's definitely a good position 4. I don't want to be devil's advocate on that. I think he's a good position 4. I don't think he's a good position 5 though, Donnie. I think that's fucking insane.
But what do you say on Night Stalker mid?
Good. Night Stalker every role is good.
Yeah, pick Night Stalker anywhere except for maybe 5. But probably even 5 because you just get a couple levels in Hunter in the Night and suddenly he becomes a core level hero with no farm.
Oh, he studied at my university in Brazil. Does Bowie have a degree? Did he finish that?
I have no
He
idea.
seem
I think
he
he
seems
was
like somebody who's well educated.
he was definitely studying chemical engineering, but I don't think he actually finished. But I could be
No,
wrong.
he's very eloquent. It would not surprise me if he was an engineer.
Let's see. Any other questions? We'll take 2 more. What are some of the best roaming heroes right now?
Invoker position 4. That
Mirana.
answers chiller no killers question too. Yeah,
Mir-
Invoker position 4, Mirana.
Clock.
See. Yeah, Clock's probably pretty good. Tiny with toss first and boots.
Pudge.
Nah, Pudge
No?
is a shit support. No, I tried it. I wish, man. I wish. Like, I want to believe, but
Chaos Knight 4. Very good roaming hero. Having a 2-second targeted stun at level 1 is completely broken.
does a lot of damage too if you don't get the 2 seconds.
Yep.
It's really nice. Okay.
All right. Your Sand King video helped a lot. Thanks a bunch. That's not a question, but thank you for your feedback. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. That's the hour mark. We're going to call it there. We're going to go make some content for you. So just relax. There will be a video soon coming out. And thank you, as always, to the Patreon supporters who allow us to continue to do this. Patreon.com/Dota Alchemy if you want to join the crew and ask questions directly to us every single week. We will see you next time. Peace out. Good luck in your games. Try not to feed, because now if you get a very low behavior score from too many reports, you can get banned. So watch out for that shit.